Hello, my name is Writer and welcome back to my channel. I apologise, I look a bit like a hot mess right now. I've just woken up and realised that it is actually April the 1st, so that is a thing. I need to have a shower this morning. My hair is kind of disgusting. I'm sorry that you have to see me like this. It is now day one of the magical readathon. I might have a bath instead of a shower and actually read in the bath. That sounds quite nice, I think. I kind of wanted to start off with something a bit easier to get into, so I wanted to start off with one of the comics, but I think if I'm going to have a bath I really need to pick up one of the actual books. For that I'm going to have to check kind of where everything is and decide which one to go for, because I actually don't remember where I've put them all. I can see most of them, but not all of them on my shelves. Okay, so these are all of the books that I'm going to read. So Telltale Heart, I don't have that in a physical copy though, because you can see it's on Kindle. Yeah, so I don't want anything on Kindle just because I don't want to take my Kindle or my phone or whatever in the bath with me. The Book Thief, which is a library book, so I'm a bit nervous about doing that. Care of Magical Creatures isn't required, so I kind of don't want to start off with that. Charms is Umbrella Academy, which is definitely one I'd like to start off with. It is a comic, and I'm a bit nervous about reading a comic in the bath. Fallacy is not required. Strange the Dreamer, that's not super short though, and also it's a library book. Truth Witch is not a physical book. This one is, but it's not required. I'd like to read one that is required, I think. I think that probably leaves Northern Lights then. So I guess that's the book I'm going to read in the bath. Hello, this is now my third time filming this because I keep getting interrupted. It's the same day. I had a bath. My hair is slightly crazy, but it's poofy, which is what we like. So I've read about half of this. Let me try and find where I got up to. Here. So chapter 3. Chapter 3. It's up there. That only took me about half an hour to read that much. So I'd say that's more like a third actually. So I should be able to finish the rest of it in about an hour. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and then I can tick off one off of the list of 12 that I wanted to read. I also did a quick calculation and I need to finish a book every 2.5 days in order to be able to do it in the 30 days that I have. Which honestly, I don't think that's impossible. I think that's definitely possible given 2 of them are comics. I can also get Telltale Heart done. That's 3 in one day, and I think that's kind of what I want to aim to do, just to kind of like ease myself back into it because they're not super difficult to read. So I think that's the plan for today. Okay, book number 1 finished. It was good. We'll definitely be picking up the next one as soon as I can get to a comic book shop, which obviously isn't going to be for a while, but number 1 down. So I think the next one that I want to start, there you go, this is the next one. This is for Charms. So this one was for Potions, so I finished Potions now. This one's for Charms because it's got a white cover. So this is what I'm going to be reading. I'm just going to go mark this in my book, my bullet journal. It's not particularly attractive, to be honest. I don't think I actually finished setting it up. I did not. So that's what it looks like. And it's over. So I guess we need to just finish doing that now. You can see that. And then I will fill it out. Last year I just did like a new colour for each book because I only had 6 books. Obviously this year I have more than 6 books, so I'm not going to be able to do that. There's a cat. No! Cat! So I think I've worked out how I want to do this. I think instead of like highlighting the squares. I'm just going to like black them out, so that's why I've got this pen. Partially because I don't have enough colours for all of these, really. Partially because some of these lines are just like really dodgy. And partially because then I don't have to fill in all the numbers, which was minorly killing me. Ta-da! I still haven't finished the rest of this side, but I don't need to worry about that side yet because 2 of them are not required. So I'll deal with that later. I don't actually remember which ones I need. I need to water my plants. Let me water my plants first. Shall we do that? Let's water the plants. They're looking a little bit dead. This is Alfie. This is... what's his name? I don't remember his name. And this is Jacob. Jacob's looking a wee bit crusty. He's got black bits on his leaves. I don't think that's supposed to happen. So let's just put a whole bunch of water in it. Don't drink the water cap. And then I like to just put some water in the bottom as well to like... yeah, I'm probably drowning these plants. I don't know how to take care of them, to be honest. Cute. I've actually decided I'm going to read Telltale Heart quite quickly. It's only 23 pages on here, so hopefully this won't take too long. And then I'm going to read Umbrella Academy just because that one's a bit longer. Then this one is filling runes, ancient runes. I remember that. You're gonna get your face stuck in there, you fool. Why did you want to go in there? Ta-da! Another one finished. That didn't take very long at all. I think that maybe took 10 minutes maximum. Mostly because there was a cat trying to get into my clothing drawers. That was fun. But yeah, so now it's the 3rd one of today. And then I think I'm gonna just like chill for a bit. But anyways, I'm gonna go do that now. Bye. Hello. So I finished it. Have to admit, I have seen the show and I kind of prefer the show. Like, I think they just developed it a lot more. Like, this felt really short, which, I mean, I guess it is really short, but, you know, it just kind of, things just happened and suddenly we were at the end already, and I was like, literally 2 pages ago you were like fine and now suddenly it's the end of the world, and then 1 page later the end of the world is averted, and I was confused. As much as I hate to actually say this, I kind of prefer the show. I just feel like the character development was a lot more earned in the show. I mean, I'm not saying the show's perfect. There are definitely parts in the comic that are better than the show. I wasn't disappointed by it. It was a different thing. But I don't know. I just kind of preferred the show, which is weird. But I mean, I like looking at all the stuff in the back. So in the back it has like mini stories. I liked those, and then I liked seeing all of the actual like art and everything, the original art. I like seeing that kind of stuff. I always like to go all the way to the end of comics and see all like the variant covers and everything. So that was quite cool. I think to me it just felt a bit too quick. But again, I guess that makes sense because it is 6 chapters and this big. So like, you know, it was alright. It was pretty cool. So I've done all 3 now. That's my 3 for today. I might see if I can start one of the other ones, but I don't know which one I'd start, just because like they're all really long now. I think the shortest I have is still 300 pages, so that's still pretty long. So I don't really know which one to start off with. I'm like torn between starting off with one of the bigger ones and just going for it, or starting with one that I'm supposed to be returning in a week, or, you know, I'm conflicted on what to start next. I may just get a random number generator and get that to choose the next book that I read. I want to at least read like 5 of the ones that I need to before I start reading the ones that I don't. I've only got 3. I don't know, I'm not super motivated to read right now. I'm quite tired, so I may just lay on bed and not do anything. We shall see. We shall see. Hello, it's currently 5. I'm gonna start making dinner soon, but I just realised that I didn't actually talk about Spider-Man very much. I don't think I spoke about it at all, other than to say, hey, I finished it. In terms of this, I remember I picked it up and I was a bit confused because I was kind of expecting a very evil Spider-Man, but he was quite morally grey, which that's alright. The whole thing is that he's supposed to inherit Peter's sense of responsibility, but then he does things in a very different way. He does it in a lot more efficient way. So instead of, you know, at one point MJ gets captured. So at one point she gets captured by some of like the Vulture's cronies. He starts swinging all the way over to go and rescue her. And then at one point there's like a crime happening, and like that's Peter and then that's Doc Ock, and Peter's like, oh, we need to go save them, you know, they're being mugged, and he's like, no, I have to go and save MJ because that's like the more important thing here. And so I'm like struggling to disagree with him. Like, I do, because I'm like, but I'm also like, you know. I also like how you find out a little bit more about his kind of backstory in this. So there's one point where he is like fighting these little things. They're like little Vulcan children. And it's revealed that they're like literally children. Yeah, you find out that he was abused as a child, which is sad. And like, it's not a good thing to kind of find out, but I like that we are finding out more of his backstory and they're kind of fleshing him out as a character a bit more. I think from my perspective, I'm sure that's probably already common knowledge if you've been in the fandom for a while, but I have not. Oh, another thing I quite liked was Ghost Peter. Ghost Peter! For those of you who don't know me, or just don't know this about me, I'm a bit of a sucker for the helpful, friendly ghost AUs. Yeah. I don't know why. I just really like the idea. It doesn't quite work in this one because obviously Peter doesn't really like the fact that his body is not his anymore. He can also hear Doc Ock's thoughts and he's like, what are you doing? You're making such a mess. Oh god, when I come back this is going to suck. Which is quite humorous. It's like sad but funny kind of thing. And then the other thing is that Dokok cannot hear Peter. He starts being able to sort of kind of hear him at the end. That gives me hope that they might go down that route, because I'm a sucker for that route. I think I'm even more of a sucker for that route when it's like a reluctant, helpful, friendly ghost. Because I just like that kind of dynamic. Oh, I like the art style. That's one thing I didn't mention about the Umbrella Academy. I didn't really like the art style for Umbrella Academy. I generally prefer an art style that's a bit more like this, where it is just a little bit more realistic. Like, obviously it's kind of cartoony. I don't like the super like hyper-realism kind of thing. I like it to have a cartoony edge, but I like it to actually have like an attempt at normal proportions, you know, and he's like in proportion kind of thing. But that's just what I prefer, and Umbrella Academy kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it was very angular. There are a lot of quite like straight triangle lines, and the character designs themselves were quite obviously very cartoony. Like the fact that Luther is so much bigger than all of the other characters, that he can hold one of the characters in like his hand, but then in other shots he's like the same size as them. The fact that 5 is like got a big circle for a head. My personal preference is like the slightly more realistic style. This is not my favourite artist. I do actually have a favourite combination. I normally would grab Parker Luck, but obviously I don't have that one. So Graveyard Shift is probably the closest to it. This is not the greatest design on the cover to show you. So this is the same universe. This is actually after this, so it's all the same characters. This is Ramos, and Ramos and Slot is my favourite 2 combination. It's quite a similar style, I will say. It's not super different. It's just the lines are a little bit darker, like a bit stronger. The lines in this one are a bit sketchy at times. Like just here, you see, it's just a little bit sketchier. Whereas here, the lines are a lot more rounded, they're a lot more like there's a strong outline kind of thing. But then that was my big issue with Umbrella Academy. I just wasn't super into the art style, which I feel bad about because I think there was obviously a lot of care put into it. And I mean, it's not a bad art style, it's just not my preference. My preference is slightly more realistic. But I'm going to stop talking about art style because I've been talking about it for like 5 minutes now. And I can't even draw. So I started reading this one. I got 1 chapter in. I remember really liking these little things when I was reading it way back when. They're just like little pictures that kind of have something to do with what happens in the story. So at one point I went through the entire book and looked at them all and tried to guess what was happening in each chapter. I'm probably not going to finish this one because what I really want to read is Supernova, but I've been holding off on that one because that one's the one that I'm supposed to read during the night, or while it's dark outside, which is hard because now it doesn't get dark till like after 6 and I get tired very quickly, and so it is sad. So I think I'm probably going to start reading that one at some point quite soon because I'm excited for it. That's all from me for now, and I will see you in like 2 seconds because I'm going to try and get it all in one.